So, again, yan, may mga nag-join pa rin. Good morning again and welcome to Citrix Virtualization Day. This is the first part of the next normal work series, Are You Doing IT Right? My name is Rosemary Lapid. I am the product manager of WSI for Citrix. I guess most of you kilala na ako. So I don't need to tell any additional information about me. So today we will help you to get know more about the Citrix solution for business. Together with Microsoft, we will help you find out how Citrix and Azure work together to help you accelerate your digital transformation wherever you are on your IT modernization journey amidst the global pandemic. And at the same time, achieve the modern employee experience without additional complexity. We will also hear our partners' testimonials about this solution. So yeah, we invited some best partner in the Philippines or reseller or IT system integrator to pitch their companies later during the program. Before we start, let me first introduce to you our company, WSI. So, WordTech System Inc., or also known as WSI, has been in the business for 39 years as a pioneer and one of the leading IT distributor in the Philippines. So, we offer complete IT solutions for your business across industries. We have solution for infrastructure, design, printing and imaging, security and backup, and communication carrying more than 40 name brands. So if you have any requirements in the future, our main office is in Manila and we have branches in Cebu and Davao that you can contact from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, and or you may send us an email at sales@wsifeel.com.ph. So for more information about WSI and the solutions that we offer, you may visit our official website www.wordtex.com.ph. And by the way, guys, you can also visit our official social media account. We encourage everyone, by the way, to feel free to like, share, and follow our social media pages and be updated on the latest IT products and information. Lastly, we would like to introduce our e-commerce site, www.wesellit.ph, the first pure IT e-commerce site in the Philippines for small and mid-sized businesses. So We Sell IT offers a wide range of hardware and software brands. So if you want to know more about our product, you may reach us after this webinar or go to www.wesellit.ph. So let me introduce to you our first speaker for today, or rather our speakers for today session that will help us know more about the solutions. We have here Mr. Norman Dohosel, Lead Solution Engineer from Citrix, and Mr. Junjun Diala, Senior Cloud Technology Specialist from WSI. And now to kick off presentation here is Mr. Junjun Diala to discuss what is Azure. Junjun,
Hi.
are you ready?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Good
I'm ready.
morning.
Okay.
Okay, let's start.
So wait, I will present my screen.
Sure.
Okay, guys, can you see my screen now?
I can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. So by the way, guys, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining for our Citrix on Azure discussion series part 1. Okay. So by the way, my name is Jun Diala. I'm the cloud service lead for Vortex System. Okay. So in this presentation, we will talk about the Microsoft Azure capabilities and features. No? So you can assess what Azure can do in terms of work from home series. Okay. Okay. So in this next slide is about the Microsoft agenda and the Microsoft Azure. So if you are not familiar with the Microsoft Azure, I can discuss briefly or the overview of the Microsoft Azure or what you can do in the Microsoft Azure. Next one is the what are the services available in Microsoft Azure and what are the Azure benefits if you are going to do serverless computing. No? or the cloud service computing. Next one is the introducing the Microsoft Azure Calculator. So if you have a question regarding to your pricing versus to your on-premise uh, purchases or solution versus to Azure Cloud solution. So let's discuss the calculator that you can see the TCO of your on-premise versus to cloud environment. Okay. All right. So in this slide, Microsoft Azure is the cloud platform wherein growing collection of integrated services. So right now we have an solution for IaaS or infrastructure as a service. Okay. Next one is the platform as a service. So in infrastructure as a service, this is the on-premise side of the hardware, Windows servers, SQL servers. So yan yung mga hosting natin. In the platform as a service, if you in this meeting or in this event has a developer side, so yung company mo is ISV, so you can choose an platform that you can use the platform as a service for your developers. So we have an Visual Studio, PHP, and any kind of programming languages na available kay Microsoft Azure. Okay. Next one is the software as a service. So the solution for the Microsoft software as a service is the finished product or the finished developed under platform as a service. So in your solution, you can sell the software itself under Microsoft Azure. So ito na yung mga best example dito is the Office 365. So if your company has an Office 365 subscription, that's the best example. It's under hosted Microsoft Azure Cloud from Microsoft and sinesell nila yun. No? So kumikita sila doon sa software na dinevelop nila under platform as a service. And yun yung kalalabasan or yun yung pinakang revenue nila na makapag-generate ng revenue under software as a service. Okay? Okay. So what are the products available in Microsoft Azure? So we have infrastructure as a service. We have a compute and virtual machines and containers. Okay. So next one is the storage. So if you are looking for a backup solution and another storage solution, so you can choose the Microsoft Azure storage. No? So there's three types of storage. There's a blob, there's a file storage, etc. So it depends on your needs. There's a capability or there's a type of services that you need in Microsoft Azure storage. Okay. Even networking, yung network natin is serverless na rin. So kailangan mo na lang dyan is mag-create ng mga policy or points ng mga firewalls natin and the network security group na kailangan natin i-modify. No? So even the load balancer and virtual networks is available na rin. Even DNS, if you need a DNS hosting, for example, our DNS or our domain is the wsipil.com.ph. You can host your DNS under Microsoft Azure now. So there's a different kind of domains available in Microsoft Azure. No? Next one for the hybrid solution. If you are looking for the hybrid solution for your server on-premise to cloud or backup solution of your file servers to Azure file servers. So you can do it under hybrid solution. Okay. Next one is for the PaaS, so yung platform as a service. There's a developer services that you can use. There's a Visual Studio na available. And for the database natin, there's a different kind of databases na available. There's a SQL, Document DB, etc., and SQL data warehousing. Okay, so if you have those requirements, you can use the Microsoft Azure as your solution. Okay. And if you have a web and mobile developers, so you can use the web applications or the web hosting of Microsoft Azure. Okay. So you can also host your website under Microsoft Azure. Okay. Next one is the security management natin. For the security management, there's also available the MFA or the multi-factor authentication and the Azure Active Directory. No? So yung Azure Active Directory, you can manage the your users and your computers under Azure Active Directory. You can also use the mobile device management or the MDM for the Azure Active Directory. There's a different kind of plan. Depends on your need. There's an Active Directory Plan 1 and Plan 2. No? Okay. So for the data center, we have 54 regions. So by default, in the Philippines, we have Southeast Asia. Okay. So anything that you need in Philippines is our data center will be always Southeast Asia. Why? Because of the latency of our data. Okay? So kasi pag lumayo 'yon, ilagay natin sa US example, yung transferring of data or pagkuha ng data is medyo matagal. Okay? So the pinakamalapit is Southeast Asia. So Singapore and Hong Kong yan, guys. Okay? Ayan. So in this product, we will be focusing on the Windows Virtual Desktop. Okay. So in this slide, here's what you can do in Azure Virtual Desktop on Azure. Okay. So one of the features of Virtual Desktop using a Citrix solution is that you can use a multi-session with Windows 10 deployment and delivers a full Windows 10 with this scalability. Okay, so there's a capabilities that you can use in Azure. Create a full desktop virtualization environment in your Azure subscription without running any gateway servers. So hindi mo na kailangan mag-create pa ng gateway or yung mga proxy sites natin. Okay. Next one is the virtualized Microsoft 365 apps for enterprise and optimize and run on multiple virtual scenarios. Okay, so if you have a Microsoft 365 subscription under Business Premium, M365 E3 and E5, the 3 package suite under 365, as long as you have the Windows 10 upgrade subscription in your plan for Microsoft 365, you can use the Windows 10 subscription as your license, or you can also bring your own your license, okay, or your BYOL. Okay, so para makatipid tayo or maka-less cost tayo pag full grown natin siya, full blown virtual desktop. Okay, ayan. So if you also have an Windows 7 licenses or Windows 7 OS, so you can use the pre-extend security updates in virtual desktop, or if you have a Microsoft 365 license with Windows 10 upgrade. Okay. Ayan. So, then bring your existence remote or RDS and virtual server desktop to any computer virtualized desktop and apps. Okay. So when you say capabilities of this RDS, you can publish many hosts as you need to accommodate your diverse workloads. Okay. Bring your own image for production workloads to test from Azure Gallery. So there's a different kind of gallery in Microsoft Azure. And reduce costs with full multiple session with the Windows 10 Enterprise or business capabilities. Okay. So exclusive Azure Virtual Desktop and Remote Desktop session for the RDSH role in the Windows servers. Okay, yan yung mga capabilities once you have a Windows Virtual Desktop in Azure. Okay. Next one is provide individual ownership through a personal desktop. Okay, so you need to create a multiple host or a specific host for a single session. Okay, and you can deploy for virtual desktop. You can deploy and manage virtual desktop na available kay Microsoft Azure. So you can also assign and connect your users to virtual desktops. So yan yung mga management ni Microsoft Azure. Okay, so benefits of cloud. Ano ba yung mga benefits natin once na we go or we decided to go Microsoft Azure Cloud? So first is the cost, because you no need to buy a servers or server racks, power consumption, etc. And cooling system. So once you have a server on-prem, you need to invest on those services or maintenance for your on-premise product, because your on-premise will run 24 by 7 and plus maintenance fee. Okay? So yan yung mga kailangan natin i-consider, things to consider. So next one is the scale, the speed, scale, and performance and reliability. Okay, when we say speed, we have speed for getting application running, fast reduce and time to develop. So once you need on-premise servers, you need to purchase up to wait a delivery for 45 days, yung mismong delivery ng hardware. Okay, in Microsoft Azure, that you can create another if you need another resource or another specs for your virtual machines, you can scale up and down the increase or decrease the sizes of your VMs, scale up the numbers of your VMs. So in a matter of 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you can deploy those services or additional features or additional VMs. Okay. Next one, the scale. Ayan. So cloud gives you an almost infinite set of computing cloud resource that you can scale up and down your on-premise service or your cloud services or your cloud VMs. Okay. Next one is the performance. You get the all latest versions or the latest updates for the Windows servers, and hindi mo na kailangan mag-purchase ng SA or software assurance. Okay. So if you're familiar with the volume license, there's a server, for example, Windows Server Standard plus SA to get the latest version. In Microsoft Azure, you need to get the subscription, and you'll always be updated once na meron naglabas si Microsoft ng updates or security updates. Okay. Next one is the reliability. Reliability natin, there's an uptime guarantee na 99.9. Availability yung ating available yung ating mga cloud resource. Okay. So next one, it's available also the backup solution in a virtual machine that you created in Microsoft Azure. So once you create a virtual machine, there's an option to back up your files. There's also a option to back up your entire virtual machine or the disaster recovery. So once na nakurap yung isang virtual machines mo, so you can back up the entire VM. Okay? Ayan. So this is the example for virtual pricing calculator or for the virtual machine calculator. So there's an option to create your region. Okay, so like what I've said, our default region is the Southeast Asia, and there's a different kind of types of operating system. There's a Linux and Windows. Okay, next one is the OS. Ayan, so maraming option for the operating system. It's either Windows 10. Available din siya kay Microsoft 365. Kay Microsoft Azure. Okay. Next one is the standard tier. There's a premium tier for the storage. Okay. So for the standards, yan yung available kay Microsoft. Next one is a different instance or series natin. For the instance, yan yung different kind of specs na makikita mo per hour yung charging niya. So once na meron siyang per hour charges, dito mo makikita depends on the specs. The higher the specs, the higher the charges. Okay? Ayan. So there's also a saving option. For the saving option, there's a 3-year reserve instance. Ayan, so makikita mo yung 63% discounts once na yung option mo is 3 years reserve. So, upfront yung payment nito, guys. So, babayaran mo siya kay Microsoft na 3 years reserve. Next one is the difference between reserve instance and the pay-as-you-go. So, yung pay-as-you-go is a monthly consumption or a monthly basis consumption na babayaran natin kay Microsoft. And there's an also to save option for bring your own license. If you have an existing license for the Windows Server 2019, 2016, and 2012, you can bring your own license under Microsoft Azure. Okay, so there's an option that Microsoft will ask if you have a license. Then once you have a license, hindi kanya i-charge doon. So there's an option na if you don't have a license, they will provide you the license for the Windows servers. Okay? Okay, so another thing for the Microsoft Azure pricing calculator, you can visit this link or website. Just type the azure.com, then go to the pricing tab, and you will see the calculator in the azure.com. Okay, so there are many services or type of calculators na available. There's a calculator for storage. So if you need a 1 terabyte, 5 terabyte storage, you can type those features or function. No? So ang type ng storage doon is the storage account. Okay? So search nyo lang yan. Okay. So yung billing niya or yung charges niya is parang Meralco bill, guys. So yung Meralco bill is after you use the services of electricity, Meralco will compute your charges. Okay? Ganon din kay Microsoft Azure. So use Microsoft Azure subscription as long as you need. Then after a month, they will bill you after services of Microsoft Azure. Okay? Any question, guys? So if you have a question about the Microsoft Azure, we can set a meeting, and meeting request will be sent naman, or we can accommodate naman for any requirement. Okay? So in this scenario, we will focus on Citrix on Azure that will help you on work from home setup. Okay, so Citrix on Azure is very useful for us because right now in our company we are using a Citrix solution for able to do a work from home task. Okay, so if you need the services for Azure and Microsoft 365, here's our services available in Vortex system. So there's a M365 subscription and Microsoft Azure subscription, and we'll also cater the virtual desktop deployment, okay, with the help of Citrix, okay? And if you need more information about our services, just visit our website. Just go to the www.vortex.com.ph and find the Microsoft Cloud Deployment Services. Okay, so if you have a question about this discussion, guys, this is an overview of the Microsoft Azure. If you need a deep dive discussion on these services, we can set a meeting. Just contact me on my email, junjun.diala@wsifield.com.ph. Okay, so if you have a question, just type to our message box. And I think I'm finished, ma'am. And we can proceed to a next presenter.
Yes. Thank you, Jun, for your question, guys. You may chat us on our chat box. And I believe, Jun, there's a message from or question from Mr. Richard of American Home. If you are using a Windows 365 business, do we need to upgrade to Windows 365 Enterprise to manage cloud PCs?
Windows 365 Business NAS. So there's a types, sir, ng license under Microsoft 365, no? Are you talking about the Windows 365 na kare-release lang ni Microsoft? Kasi meron talagang Windows 365. Okay? So kare-release lang siya ni Microsoft this year. Hello, sir. I
Yes.
think, can they unmute ba? Yung option? May option ba
I
na?
believe yes, they can unmute. I believe there's an option to unmute their microphones. Sir Richard? Yes, or probably nakat si Sir Richard.
Sige, PM ko na lang or chat ko na lang siya sa
Yeah,
message
i-chat mo
box.
lang siguro sa... Okay. Okay,
Unmuting
unmuting is
disabled.
disabled. Okay, you can just chat your message. Siguro June, you can reply to them na lang on our chat box
Okay.
so we can proceed then on our next speaker.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So, okay. Then let me call on now Mr. Normando Jose, the speaker from Citrix to discuss Citrix solution. Are you doing IT right? Hi Norman, are you ready?
Hi, Rose. Yes, I'm ready.
Yes. Our
Good
so very
morning.
handsome from Citrix.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, so just wanted to make sure that you can see my slide. And I mean my audio is okay.
I can
Rose?
clearly hear you. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
clearly hear you.
And I also need to turn off my video because I'm having an internet issues earlier, if that is
Sure.
okay. Okay, so let me start. So again, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for attending this session. So I'll be focusing more on the Citrix and Microsoft Azure Virtual Desktop. So as June mentioned, there's a lot of benefits on Azure in terms of the public cloud and as well as Azure Virtual Desktop. So as you know, the former name of Azure Virtual Desktop was Windows Virtual Desktop. So they just rebranded or rename it to Azure Virtual Desktop. And we've been a partner of Microsoft for more than 30 years now. And most of the questions that we get from the customers that they have a similar solution how we could actually complement or augment the solution that Microsoft provide. And based on our history, so you know RDS, right? Remote Desktop Services. So it's available to everyone, but still majority of the customers are settling with Citrix to deliver virtual applications and shared hosted desktop now. In conjunction with the RDS or Remote Desktop Services of Microsoft. So that will continue to happen. So our partnership will be stronger moving forward. And I'll be sharing some of those specifically around Azure Virtual Desktop. So for today, this will be our objectives. So I'm going to share some of the things about Azure Virtual Desktop. And then we'll dive into the Citrix value add. So what we can do on top of Azure Virtual Desktop. And just one resource that you can look into for you to get started. But anyway, you can still contact WSI and our partners, even Citrix Philippines, so that we can discuss whatever you have in terms of Microsoft and Citrix requirement. And hello.
Hi, Norman. We cannot hear you, so probably there's
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I'm
okay.
back. Sorry. So I just
Yeah.
switched to my. Can you hear me now, Rose? Yeah. So I
Yeah,
just
I can
switched
hear
from
you.
my I had an issue again on with my internet. Sorry, guys. I switched to my LT. So my audio is okay now. So just to recap, I'll be talking about Azure Virtual Desktop, Microsoft Azure Virtual Desktop, and then we'll dive into the Citrix value add to AVD, and then yeah, give you some resource for you to get started. So these are some of the things, yeah, I guess June mentioned it already, but I just wanted to highlight the delivery of the multi-session, no, of Windows 10 experience. So as you know, if you do virtualization, right, especially on Windows.
Okay, I think Norman has a ca- countering some trouble with his
1:1.
internet. Yeah. Norman, can you
Yes,
hear me?
sorry guys, I'm back. Yes, yes,
Okay,
I can
okay.
hear you, Ro.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, yeah, just going back, so there would be like yeah, an option, no, to have like a multi-session on Windows 10. So instead of like 1:1, like one Windows 10 virtual instance. Yep. Sorry guys, someone's calling me. Can you hear me, Rose? Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you, Norman. Okay. Can I proceed? Yeah. Norman, we cannot hear you again. There's no audio.
Yeah, let me try to connect back to my
Okay.
Wi-Fi. Yep.
Okay, June, again, just to remind you, please respond to the question regarding to Azure, to Sir Bernard, Sir Richard, and I guess Christian.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Yes.
already replying to Sir
Yeah.
Richard question.
Yeah, I guess you can reply on in public on our chat box so everyone can see the answer also
Yes,
regarding
ma'am.
to
Yes,
those
ma'am.
questions. Okay, thank you, June. Norman, are you ready now?
Yes, I'm back. Sorry again.
Okay.
Hi, clear,
No worries, no
Rose.
worries.
Yeah. Yeah, just to say it again, no. I just wanted to highlight the multi-session Windows 10 experience. So this is a capability wherein you could have like one Windows 10 instance, and there would be some multiple users connecting to that instance instead of 1:1. And yeah, so if you have still working on those RDS, there's also an option to yeah, migrate those to an Azure Virtual Desktop um, instance, no. And it will be easier in terms of scalability because it's cloud, and everything is running on Azure. And plus you could also optimize some of the Office 365 capabilities on top of this platform. And and in terms of the eligibility, so these are, I think there was a question earlier on, no, on whether how you could deploy Azure Virtual Desktop. So for as long as you have this agreement with Microsoft, like the Microsoft 365, the academic agreement, even the Windows 10 VDA, so you should be entitled to Azure Virtual Desktop. And if you wanted to connect to remote desktop services session, so you just need an RDS call with active software assurance, and all you have to do is just to pay for the virtual machines instances and storage and networking consumed on Azure. So for as long as you have this client agreement, no, client licenses agreement with Microsoft, you are eligible to use Azure Virtual Desktop, and you just have to pay for the instances running on Azure. So just take note of that. Now let's look into some of the Citrix value add on top of Azure Virtual Desktop. So as you know, one of the key uh, differentiator when it comes to um, delivering Citrix is that we could manage not just the workloads in Azure, but also for those customers who have invested, no, on Citrix on premise. So we can have like a centralized management. So it can be an hybrid approach. So the deployment will be faster, the transition will be faster. or the migration will be faster from on-premise to the cloud. Especially today, there's a lot of challenges when it comes to expanding your on-premise infrastructure. And majority or most of the customers are actually looking into a cloud service because it's more flexible. They can spin up easily. They can turn on, turn off VMs, and they just have to pay for what they have used now. So with this solution, like Citrix together with Microsoft Azure Virtual Desktop, then it will be more flexible no, for majority of the customers who think wherein hybrid approach will still be suitable no, or better approach more than a pure on-premise or a pure cloud solution. And if you take a look at the some of the implementations that we had no, since 2018, there's actually an increase now, 4 times increase of the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service customers on Azure. So just imagine that, no? And 80% of the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, especially for the workload, runs on Azure. So if you take a look at the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, so it's basically a control plane or a management plane. So all of the management components will be hosted in Citrix Cloud, which is actually also most of them are on Azure. And then you just have to think of where you put your workloads. So whether on-premise, no, you have to take care of your IP, intellectual property. So the workloads can be deployed either on-premise or Azure. So 80% of our cloud-hosted workloads are actually on Azure. So there are some customers who have settled on other public cloud provider. We do also support those top players no, in the market. But as I mentioned, majority of our workloads runs on Azure. And then if you combine the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop no, together with Azure, so you could have like increase in user density. So in terms of performance, it will be better, no? Because most of our management planes runs on Azure, and if you have the workloads closer to the management plane, then that will be faster, no? And of course, it will also provide simplified management when it comes to managing all your virtual desktops, no? Regardless whether it's on-premise or in Azure or a different public cloud provider. And then if you take a look at the virtual apps and desktop service of Citrix, so as you can see here, for on-premise, so we support all types no, of operating system. So we can support the server operating system, of course, the ones which are currently supported by Microsoft. So 2012 R2, 16, 19, and then we also support the Windows 10 operating system 7 and 8, and even Linux application and desktops delivery. So with a combination of Azure Virtual Desktop, so you could switch no, between the two environments. So especially for those who are looking into like having like a DR or some sort of like an expansion. No? So if you have invested on Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, which supports your on-premise, so it will be easier for you to expand or transition to Azure because we can have like a visibility on both environment. And then some of the capabilities or benefits that you can get is that, as I mentioned, I have been saying this, you could have like an hybrid cloud for virtual apps and desktops. So it will accelerate your Azure time to value because, so we can actually mix and match no, between on-premise and the public cloud running on Azure. And then you could also centralize those images and policies. So if you have created some policies on premise that applies to each and every business units that you support, then same policies can be applied and same profiles can be applied on Azure. So it will be faster, no, in terms of deployment, and then it will be you will have like a simpler management because you don't have to recreate those images and policies once you go to Azure. And then, of course, if you have invested on Citrix and you have trained most of your IT no, to support the environment, then you could actually use those experiences, no, knowledge, to either support your on-premise or the ones running on Azure. And then one of the things that Citrix virtual apps and desktop can provide is also to have like an intelligent experience. So it's more of like enhancing how user interact with those applications and virtual desktop. It will be seamless because it can support multiple devices or different types of platform. So whether you're from a tablet or from phone, going to a thin client, zero client, or even the Citrix Workspace hub, the experience will be unified and it will be the same across different platform. No? As I mentioned, we support Windows, iOS, Android as an endpoint, even Mac or Chrome so that you could access your virtual apps and desktops running on Azure or on-premise. And then we also support high-definition experience, so especially if you have um, like a 3D modeling or CAD applications that you have to deliver to your end user. High-definition experience or our ICA protocol can actually help now in delivering those kind of applications. And then last but not the least, we can have those monitoring and control because we have this like real-time engine wherein we could check all the devices and even the type of connection that they are using to assess whether it's safe for them to connect in that type of device or connection before we even allow them to access their applications or data. So it's more of like an end user behavior analytics. So we leverage analytics, we leverage machine learning, and then we also rely on the framework of zero trust network access. No? So continuous monitoring from the time they log in while they are actually leveraging all those applications and desktop up until they log off. No? So it's very important to monitor those users, especially for those who are working remotely. So most of the security guys, they have this initiative wherein they will not trust anyone. No? Same goes with how you provide access to your application and desktop. So it's important that we know those are employees. These are our partners now, but we still have to provide that security layer just to make sure that everything is secure in terms of data and nothing will be compromised in terms of your corporate access and data in terms of data leakage. And then of course we don't want to compromise the performance. So some solution will provide you more security, but the performance will not be there, and vice versa. So we wanted to provide a solution wherein you could get the security that you need as well as the performance that you need. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, and I hope my internet is better now. Sorry for sorry for earlier. No. So if you have any question, just type it on the chat box, and later on I'll be addressing those questions. And so these are some of the offerings that we have together with Microsoft Azure. So we have the simple approach wherein we could deliver a kind of like a desktop as a service. So we call it Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Standard for Azure. So everything will be delivered through Azure. So whether you get it from Microsoft directly or you can also get it from us directly. You just pay for that desktop. So basically a desktop as a service approach. So this is the fastest, easiest way to deploy Azure virtual desktop workloads, leveraging Citrix technologies. And then the other one would be more of like a flexible approach, wherein you leverage the service, which is the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop service, and then you select Azure to place your workload. So all the Windows 10, all the Windows Server, basically your virtual apps and virtual desktop will be running on Azure. So that's what we call the workload. And then all of the management components, control plane will be hosted in our Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop service. And then the last one will be more of a comprehensive. So it's like a Nirvana or the dynamic stage wherein you could deliver any type of application, whether it's web, SaaS, or virtual apps or desktop delivered to Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop. And then even micro apps and then consolidated with your data, regardless of the repository, whether you're using Google Drive, Office 365, no, OneDrive or Dropbox, no. So we can have a consolidated workspace wherein you could access any type of application and the data that you need, no, for you to do your stuff, no, on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, you have a lot of options. So we can work on those and assess which option will be more suitable for your organization. So again, yeah, most of the customers, yeah, ask this question: where does Citrix add the most value? No, especially for those customers who have invested on Azure Virtual Desktop, or maybe they have invested on E3, E5, yeah, M365, yeah. So these are the top three, no. So again, the hybrid environments, so that's critical. So not all applications, especially your backend system, are hosted in the cloud. So what we typically recommend to our customers, if your backend systems are on-premise, then you put your workload on-premise. But if some of your applications are in the cloud already, you put your workloads in the cloud. So it's very flexible. You could do like an hybrid approach. Once you have moved all your backend systems in the cloud, then you could go like a pure cloud, no, approach. But yeah, majority of the customers I met and talked to in the Philippines, they still have majority of their workloads running on-premise, no. And some have actually a different scenario wherein 80% of their workloads are on cloud already, and then only 20% left on-premise. So again, yeah, user experience is also key, especially for those leveraging Microsoft Teams, no. You know how Teams work, and based on my experience, it requires a lot of internet, right? And stable internet as well. So latency, jitters, and then yeah, bandwidth is important for Microsoft Teams. So with Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop, we can deliver Microsoft Teams, no, better. So the problem is that I'm not using my virtual apps and desktop right now, and of course, it relies still on the internet connection that we have in the Philippines. And last but not the least, of course, the performance and security. So it's really important that we measure how user access their applications and how secure we deliver those applications and data to the user. So these are some of the things, no? We call it the top 10 Citrix value adds to Azure. So I just wanted to highlight some of the items there. So I mentioned earlier the performance and security analytics, so that we can have like a continuous assessment or end user behavior analytics, as well as how they log into the system, how fast, no, how fast they log on to the system, and then how they could reach to those applications and desktop. And then with the help of workspace environment management, it also increased, no, the log on performance because of the customization and yeah, tweaking, no, with workspace environment management. So one of the things, no, most of our clients love on Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop on Azure is the auto scale, because this one will help you in terms of turning on, turning off virtual instances in Azure. So in the end, it will also help you save some money, no? So instead of your virtual desktops or virtual apps running 24 by 7, so with auto scale, which is a capability of Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop, we can turn on demand those virtual desktop if you need it, and then turn off those virtual desktops or virtual applications if you don't need it. So similarly, if you're familiar with the auto scale, auto scale on public cloud, so it's the same approach. It's just that the settings or management will be on Citrix. And then some of the banks, no, that I've talked to, even the telcos and yeah, even government agencies. So this one is a unique capability of Citrix, the session recording, so that you can capture all the activities of the user. So in terms of like auditing, if there's like fraud, no, whatever, no, if you need to do some investigation, because everything has been recorded, you can go back in time, no, and check those users whether they have complied to your security policies or not. And then, of course, the app protection, wherein it provides like anti-key logging, anti-screen capture for those customers or companies who have who didn't issue a company device to their employees. So the only option is for those employees to use their personal device or home computer. No, so that's actually a security risk, no, for the organization. So with the app protection and watermarking, so this can help in terms of data leakage, data loss prevention, or even like a deterrent. No? In some cases, wherein they wanted to take a picture of the sensitive information, because of the watermarking, they cannot do so. So these are some of the things, no, that you can do on top of Azure Virtual Desktop when you leverage the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop service. That's why, yeah, they still go with Citrix, no, even though Azure Virtual Desktop is there. Similarly to what we have experienced in the past, wherein RDS Cal is there, but still customer settled for Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop to deliver those virtual applications to their employees and users. So yeah, let's go through some of the products in terms of the features. No, so one of the things that I mentioned earlier is actually the deployment flexibility for hybrid environments. So as you know, we could support majority of the hypervisor in the market. So whether you're using our own Citrix hypervisor, whether you're using Microsoft Hyper-V, VMware vSphere, or Nutanix, or even bare metal, we support those. No, so that's one. So if you're from, like, say, government agency or from the bank, wherein you need like a year, no, to get approval for you to settle with the public cloud. So sometimes you only settle for on-premise. So those are some of the hypervisor that we support. And then in terms of public cloud, no, so we support all the top three. So Azure, AWS, GCP, even the Nutanix and Oracle, no. And then we're also releasing, I think, I don't know if it has been released already, support for Alibaba, no, Alibaba Cloud. So as you can see, we're quite flexible. We're cloud agnostic, whether on-premise or the cloud. And then, of course, if you have invested on Azure Virtual Desktop, we can also manage those Azure Virtual Desktop. So it will be more flexible for you. So if you're okay, or your experience or better, no, on other public cloud, you can spin up so those workloads on those public cloud. Let's say, for example, GCP. But if you have invested on Azure Virtual Desktop, we can still manage those. And then if you have on-premise deployment, then you can have like a single platform to manage all those environments. So that's the beauty about very agnostic, and we can support different types of public or private cloud. And then I shared this with you earlier, the auto scale, wherein it will provide a lot of savings, no, in terms of cloud. So basically, you can create a policy, and then as you can see here, these are. Let me just look. I hope you can see my cursor. No, this is actually the machines that are turned on. These are the machines that have been registered, and these are the machines that are under maintenance. As you can see, even though that there are a lot of machines registered, there's only a few who have been turned on, no? Because that's the only requirement of the corporate or the company, no? So with that, you could actually save at least 40% on Azure consumption. So with auto scale, it's really beneficial, no, to turn that on. So in terms of admin experience, so I think this is just a 2-minute video. So you go to the delivery group, and then you select the delivery group, and then you can create like a policy. So whether it's weekday or weekends, and then you could add a schedule. So you can customize that, and you can apply it. So let's say alternate weekend, or let's say you just put a name in there, and then we can select some days, no, to apply that auto scale schedule. So once you had selected it, then we can apply. So as you can see there, we can put like weekday, and then select the one we created earlier, so alternate weekend, and then you could change the settings. So either you could edit it, so you could add either machine or percentage of it, no. And then you could select a particular time, and then the number of machines you have to implement this policy. So just for the sake of demonstration, we just put one, and then you can see there, there's one machine there, and then you could customize it, no. So say from Wednesday to Saturday, and then you could even change the peak times, no. So that depends on the company, no. So you could put the peak time can be, I don't know, maybe 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So depending on the company, so you could put there the peak times, And then you could provide some additional settings like capacity buffer. So once you reach the peak times, you could add more capacity. But during off-peak time, let's say beyond the 6 p.m. until before 9 a.m., you only provide like 10% of the capacity. And then you could also edit the power off delay, like 15 minutes. And then you could put the cost or per hour, no, machine instance cost per hour, so that you could see the savings that you can get. So this is all can be done on Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service under the management console. Okay, so hope that is clear. No? If you have any question, just put it in the chat box. And then the other one would be the WEM and Optimizer. So workspace environment management and optimizer. So one of our clients, T-Mobile, no, I know they're quite big. So they got a savings in terms of the WEM implementation. So there was like a 10% server scalability increase, no, and then they have saved at least $1 million. Yeah, we were talking about thousands, no, hundreds of thousands of virtual apps and desktops on T-Mobile. But because they have implemented WM, they have saved some dollars, some money, and then it also improved the login times, so 56% in terms of the login times. So that's very important because when you try to access your virtual apps and desktops, and it takes a lot of time, take a while. So the users will be frustrated, no, to a point wherein I'll do it later. So it actually a loss in terms of productivity. But if the user goes to the login screen and then a few seconds or minutes, no, they were able to see everything, no. So that will provide a better productivity to those end users. So 70% improve server scalability, and then 80% improve logon time. So those are the data that we have captured when you leverage on WM. And then with Citrix Optimizer, it actually adds additional benefits. So with those policies on Citrix Optimizer, we can also leverage that so that we can improve those login times. And then, as you can see here, baseline scenario and then optimized scenario, you can see here that there's like a 70% higher user density. So that you can have more users. No? So when we talk about higher user density, if you don't optimize it, you don't do Citrix Optimizer, or you don't leverage WEM, let's say one Windows Server or one Windows 10 on Azure will provide you support for 25 users, right? And then if you leverage these tools, then 17% on top of the 25 users, no. Let's say maybe it can increase to 28 or 30, depending how you compute it or how the application works now. But what we're saying here is that with this before the optimization or WEM, you can only support like maybe 77 users. But with optimized scenario, you can support up to 90 users. So that will also equate to some savings that you provision on Azure. So instead of increasing more virtual machine, then it will be lesser because of the WEM and Citrix Optimizer. And then so this is just a chart that is showing that we have improved over time. So right now we're on 1912 LTSR. I think there's a latest one, 2003 version. But this is a data that we have captured over time from 7.15 to 1912 LTSR. And then let's talk about some of the analytics and director. So again, as I mentioned, we leverage a lot of machine learning and analytics. So as you can see here, we provide security and performance analytics. But I'll focus more on the performance right now. So if I go to a lot of groups now or sites. So if I select Bangalore, I can see there the total number of users, and then users with excellent user experience, and then these are some of the users who have less not good user experience. So as we can see here that the profile loads, there's actually 28 users in poor category or abnormal. And then we could also see the session responsiveness, and then we could even create like some search in terms of yeah, the site name, and even the, yeah, if you want to do like some multiple site uh, search, so just select on the left, and then you could provide the session log on duration, and then yeah, you could filter it, no, in terms of the responsiveness and log on duration, and then you could put some number there, say greater than 10 or greater than 5, and then it will filter to those users. At least with this, you could check, no, those user who are actually experiencing a log on delay, no, with this performance analytics. With those performance analytics, it actually captures a lot of information, no? So latency, the log on duration, the failures, no. If there was like a log on attempt and then it failed, and then how many times that user reconnect to the session. So with those information and a lot more, it will give a user experience. So it will do some, yeah, analysis, no, yeah, benchmark, what are the factors to consider, and then drill down on the root cause analysis, and then it will provide some marking, no, in terms of how many users are actually doing great, no, fair, and then poor user experience. So yeah, you could get those reports through the performance analytics. And then yeah, so with Microsoft Teams and Skype optimization, we could deliver this particular application on top of virtual apps and desktop. So there's a note here: Citrix virtual apps and desktop will deliver the best experience with for Microsoft Teams desktop client with crystal clear voice and video with virtualized environment. So you could see that information also from the Microsoft site, no? So you can see on the lower right corner. So there's a link there on how we could actually do it, no? Yeah, together with Microsoft. And then, of course, with security, it's very important to consider also. So we've tackled most of the benefits, no, in terms of cost savings and performance. But yeah, everyone's mind is actually security. So especially now, they're moving away from a VPN connection, no, to more of like a zero trust network access solution. So we provide those type of solution as well. But sometimes, yeah, it's really important that to keep the data. That's why some of the customers that I've talked to, some of their initiatives is to put all their data, no, in a virtualized environment, so that there's nothing can be downloaded onto the local devices. Unlike with VPN, once you're connected, the user can do anything. So they can download, they can copy, they paste everything on their local machines, right? But if it's virtualized, then everything will be centralized in the data center. Nothing can be downloaded, nothing can be extracted, no, from that environment. So these are some of the security capabilities. So we could provide like key logging protection, screen capture protection, watermarking. We can support non-domain join machines, especially those being our own device now. Access control and secure browser. Um, yeah, so non-domain join, or what we commonly known as air gap. So yeah, so we have to make sure that we can support, no, machine that are not joined to the domain. Um, that's why, yeah, Citrix can support any type of device from any type of location. So we have this mantra of any. So any device, any type of application from any type of connection, you should be able to access your application securely. And then we also provide this anti-key logging and anti-screen capture. So just imagine if you're using a VPN, no? And yeah, we provide a company issued device, and then we do some sort of assessment, like an endpoint analysis, and then we check the device, whether the security antivirus or the antivirus is up to date, whether the updates or security updates is there, no, the service pack level is there, everything before we allow them. But we still don't know whether there's like because some of the malware now, no, are actually sophisticated. They can even run on memory. So just think of like maybe there's a malware in there, and someone has put like a key logging software or a screen capture software to analyze the behavior or the activities of the user on a daily basis. So with those information, because everything has been captured, and then the bad actor also captured the username and password, then it will be easier for that bad actor to get into your corporate network, no? So with anti-keylogin and anti-screen capture, there's no way for those bad actor to capture username, password, or even like a print screen or snipping tool. If they have software to do that, there's no way for them to capture those information. And then we also provide some sort of like watermarking and session recording. So I've mentioned session recording. This is one of the key features that we have that is not available now on other solution. Session recording will capture everything that the user do on a virtual apps and desktop environment. And then we also provide some sort of like watermarking. So as you can see here, there's like watermarking. So the domain and then the username and the IP address. So right now it's in the middle, but you can put like upper left, upper right, lower left, lower right, and it provides like a deterrent. So that the users or the employee will think twice before they take a picture of the screen, especially if there are some intellectual property on the screen, because the information of that user will be also captured in the picture. This is just a quick demonstration of the watermarking. So as you can see there, it's there. No? And then if you go outside that secure browser, because it's actually running on a secure browser, so everything will be there. No? And then so you can even create a policy wherein if they're using a software as a service application, for example, because of that secure browser capability, so you can prevent them from printing, from copying information within that application. Copy paste will be disabled. Printing will be disabled. And then if they try to take a picture, then watermarking will be there. So there's nowhere for them to actually leak information outside those virtualized environment. And so I think this is my last slide. These are some of helpful resources that you can look into. So I encourage you to go to the AVD info page at citrix.com. Global partners, Microsoft Azure Virtual Desktop. So you can find a lot of resources on how we have delivered Azure Virtual Desktop through Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service. So with that, I hope you get something from this session. And thank you everyone. So if you have any question, just feel free to chat it. To put it in the chat box. Again, thank you and good morning.
Yes, thank you, Norman. For your
Thank you.
questions, guys, regarding the presentation, you may send it on the chat box on your screens. And guys, I believe Norman, there's a question already. So
Okay.
Richard, what percent does Citrix or Windows Azure have as far as security is concerned?
What percent does Citrix Windows Azure have as far as security is concerned? So Richard, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so can you please chat it again, Mr. Richard? So while waiting for others to send this question or their question, we encourage everyone, by the way, if you can answer our feedback form through the link provided in the chat box, or you can scan the QR code presented on your screen. So we are open to receive for any questions. Yeah, we are experiencing we had experienced being hacked as per the Richard Norman.
Some of the things that I mentioned, in terms of like yung anti-screen capture, and then the anti-key logging, this can also serve as a security capabilities, because the hacking can be done in so many ways. So it's either someone has actually got into one of your employees' device and had actually access into your corporate network, and maybe there's also someone that has actually gained access in some of the computers that are not secure, connecting to your corporate network, let's say like a personal device. So but I think because of those security capabilities that we have showed earlier, like the anti-key logging, anti-screen capture, um, and then even those that are actually um, uh, like the analytics no can actually help address some of the security concerns that you have. So I think if you do virtualization no, in and everything is actually being controlled no, it's really a good approach in terms of how you access your systems and applications. Unlike if you do provide some sort of like a VPN connection or maybe allow your users to connect no. Sometimes some companies are actually allowing them to do some VPN and then enable RDP, and they provide some jump servers or jump hosts no to connect to the some of the internal applications. So yeah, it's a doable approach, but it's actually a security concern. And yeah, so the hacking can happen in so many ways. We just have to check our security policies in place and how we actually deliver those application systems, no, and how we manage user access to the to the to the users, no. So like yeah, providing like a two-factor authentication aside from username and password can also help in terms of hacking. So with those capability, it's actually part of the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop. So the anti-key logging, anti-screen capture, two-factor authentication, and then it also runs on HDX, no? Which is a secure tunnel going to your. So it's not a network layer access, but it's more of like an application level access. So that can somehow help. But yeah, again, we just have to get back and check on the security. Yeah, security policies and how you implement those in the organization. Yeah, it's a long answer, sorry, Richard, but yeah, there's a lot of things to be considered.
All right. Thank you for that, Norman. Any more questions from our audience? Please feel free to chat your questions or any queries or clarification about the presentation from Norman or Citrix. Mhm. I guess there's no any question. And by the way, guys, we are encouraging you again to fill out our survey or our feedback form. And there's also a question there if you're interested to set um another set of meeting just within your group, so we can personally or we can present virtually together with Citrix and Microsoft Team. Okay, so moving forward, I guess there's no any other question. Moving on the next part of our program, we have invited our partners to discuss and showcase competencies. So may we call on our first speaker for the first reseller that we invited, CityLink. Regina, are you ready to present the company profile of CityLink?
Yes, I'm ready, Rose. Good morning. Good morning
Yeah, thank
all.
you.
Hi. I'll be sharing po my screen.
Sure.
Okay, so thank you WSI Rose for inviting us to this event. So a happy morning again to us all. So I'm Regina Servito, Product Manager of CityLink Systems Inc. And I'm here to present about CityLink. So who we are? So CityLink Systems Inc. is in the industry for almost 23 years already. We are helping our customers like you to create cost-effective solutions to different technology requirements. So our core strength lies with the following solutions: multi-level security, workspace solutions which included po yung Citrix, hybrid cloud yung nabanggit po kanina na Azure. And with regards to our partnership with Citrix, we have been a Citrix Silver Solution Advisor or Silver CSA since 2008. So that's for 13 years already. And we have been a Citrix service provider for 2015. And currently, we have 31 certifications with regard to Citrix. So ito po yung mga certified Citrix products namin: content collaboration, endpoint management, managed desktops, the one discussed a while ago, SD1, virtual apps and desktops. I believe this has been very instrumental to our customers, especially this pandemic, because we were able to equip yung mga work from home users, creating a secure connection and better experience from sa bahay po nila to the resources in our office. So, industries we serve, we have been serving education, financial and insurance, government, manufacturing, retail, technology, and telecommunications. I would like to share one of our recent wins with an insurance company. Their workers are accessing company resources from home with the help of initially AnyDesk. I believe we're familiar with this technology. So this is somehow limiting for the IT and users nila, as users can only access their desktops when it is powered on. Thus, yung mga IT po nila needs to stay inside the office premises para ma-manage yung mga desktops. Whereas on the side of management, they have been gravely concerned in terms of protecting yung data nila against exfiltration. With Citrix, we were able to offer a win-win solution for all parties involved, as users were able to access files and applications without needing for the VPN or yung AnyDesk. And IT no longer has to stay for long hours monitoring and managing powered on PCs, while the management got their need of protecting company data with a cost-effective solution that is reasonable and within their budget. So I guess, Rose, that's my presentation. If you have any questions, you can contact us through the following.
Okay,
you.
thank you, Regina, for being one of our chosen reseller or partner to pitch their competencies for Citrix in Azure. Now let me call on from Team Corp, Mr. Robin. Are you ready,
Hello.
sir?
Good
Hi, Sir
morning.
Robin. Good
Hello.
morning.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank WSI and Citrix for inviting my company to this event. I'm Robin Pagtuca, the pre-sales head of Total Information Management Corp. So I have just 3 slides. First, I'll talk about TIM, my company. Then we have a slide on our Citrix credentials, and finally some contact information. Mine and our product manager for Citrix, Justin Petaliana. TIM. So TIM stands for Total Information Management Corporation. So maybe I see some names. I think kilala nyo na kami. We've been a long time SI in the local market. So similar to WSI, we've been in the market for more than 3 decades. So ang laki na ng installed base namin. We are actually part of a small conglomerate together with SSI, a leading IBM reseller, Automate Technologies, and Test Corp or TIM Engineering. We are part of the Linutna group of companies. We have pioneered and introduced quite a number of technology solutions in the company, including data centers and the EMC brand. TIM is actually the first company to offer large-scale data center hosting and co-location, for which today we have about 18 of the top 25 banks. So it's a differentiator for us with our competitors. So if you want a solution that involves data center, cloud, on-prem, infra, hardware, that's actually where those are actually areas where we excel. We have 3 pillars of offerings, which are shown on the bottom on the slide you're seeing. We do enterprise level systems integration projects. We do data center related projects and services, and we also offer various managed services like managed network, managed security, and I'd like to share we have our own local cloud. For those companies not yet ready to jump to public clouds like Azure, or who see a hybrid setup with local cloud as their infra of choice. In total, we have about 200 employees with a large technical pool of people certified on various brands and technologies. So those technologies include virtualization, hyperconverged security, and of course, BDI. Next slide, Ray. TIM has long been a partner of Citrix, I think since 2015. We have an internal team doing Citrix implement support for a number of years already. Myself, I've actually done Citrix since the 1990s. way back when the Citrix had WinFrame. So that long yung experience namin sa Citrix. We also have a significant install base, just like CityLink, across various industries. Confidentiality and NDAs prevent me from showing their logos. But on the slide, you can see the various industries for which we have a Citrix footprint. In particular, sa baba, in the install base, on hotels and casinos, we have a setup that's comprised of hundreds of virtual desktops across a large multi-hectare site. Next slide, Ray. For my last slide, we'd just like to flash our contact information. I hope I have piqued your interest about our company. If you want to know more, please visit our website, www.timcorp.net.ph. And on the slide on the right, my colleague, Justin Petaliana, is actually our product manager for Citrix. On that note, I'd like to say thank you again. Good morning, and back to you, Rose.
Thank you, Sir Robin, for that wonderful introduction with regards to Team Corp or Total Information Management Corporation. And for our next speaker, I would like to call on Mr. JJ Reyes to pitch Nexus Technologies Incorporation. Hi, Sir JJ. Good morning.
Hi, Ma'am Rose. Thank you. Thank you for that quick intro. Good morning, everyone. I'm JJ. I'm the product specialist from Nexus, handling Citrix. I don't have any slides with me, so I'll be showing you a couple of videos about Nexus. We are a Citrix partner and a gold reseller of Microsoft. So, Ma'am Rose, can you help me with the video, please? Thank you.
Sure.
Microsoft has always been in the forefront of technology, and Nexus delivers that technology here in the Philippines. I'm Eman, the solutions architect for the Microsoft team here at Nexus. I started here at Nexus as one of the Microsoft engineers who deployed Microsoft enterprise solutions for companies across the country. I've worked with the team who have been deploying Microsoft infrastructure for decades, starting from Windows NT to Windows servers and now to Microsoft Online Services. We have been putting up email services running on Microsoft Exchange and now moving them to Microsoft 365 Online. You can say that the engineers here at Nexus are tenured in their field. And with Microsoft's continuous leadership in productivity and communication, and with the introduction of Microsoft 365, administrators are now able to provide a broader range of productivity and communication while maintaining security and governance for users, their devices, and information within those devices. Here at Nexus, we just don't sell you products. We help you understand the product and your options. We have architects who help design and piece these solutions together. We have tenured engineers and project management team to deploy all these solutions as planned, and a managed services group that will help you operate and support these solutions after.
Thank you, everyone, for watching our video. If you'd like to reach out, please feel free to shoot us an email on the shown addresses, or give us a quick call to the number shown there. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, all right. Thank you, JJ, for that wonderful presentation and for sharing your company's competencies towards to Microsoft and other solutions. So again, And thank you for participating on our activity for today. And again, congratulations to all our winners. If you want to know more, our email is flash on the screen. Contact us anytime should you want to have one-on-one presentation to discuss the product further. This is for activity for today. On behalf of WSI and Citrix, I would like to thank you for joining us and see you again on our next activities.